Thank you very much, Neil. After listening to the slate of speakers here this evening, I am more convinced now than ever that this job, this assignment that is before us is not going to be a difficult one. Because when you have the competency level of the persons around you, the job becomes easier. So a very pleasant good evening to all of our constituents of Mayaro, those of you who have journeyed from far to join us here today as we come to almost the end of our campaign. And as Anita said, we have 2 days to go. Martin Luther King, ladies and gentlemen, once said that there comes a time when people get tired. While he spoke that, he talked about the problems faced by Afro-Americans today in Trinidad and Tobago. We too find ourselves tired, but for a different reason. Our country, ladies and gentlemen, stands on the brink of collapse, grappling with social and economic turmoil. It is against this troubling backdrop that I welcome you and thank you for standing up as patriots to rescue our nation in this crisis. For too long, our beloved nation has grappled with challenges that have tested our resolve and unity. But today, I stand here not to dwell on the obstacles we have faced, but to celebrate the resilience and strength that defines us as a people. From the rolling hills of Rio Claro to the bustling streets of Port of Spain, from the tranquil shores of Tobago to the vibrant communities of San Fernando, we are united by a shared purpose, a commitment to building a brighter future for all of us here in Trinidad and Tobago. My friends, this team that is before you here today have embarked on a journey fueled by hope, guided by principles, and anchored in the belief that together we can overcome any obstacle, achieve any goal, and fulfill the promise of our nation's potential. Our symbol, the praying hands, symbolizes not only our belief, but also our unity in prayer, in purpose, and in action. Your presence here today is a testament of your dedication and love for our country. And it is through this united effort that we can bring about the change that we so desperately need. For the past 2 months, my brothers and sisters, I have met with UNC members all across the country, from Mayaro to Saparia to Princestown to Chaguanas to Cedras, and they have all told me the same thing. We are tired of the UNC losing. We need to win. My friends, I can tell you that everyone on this slate wants the UNC to win. When you put your X next to the praying hands on June 15th, you are voting for the UNC to win. When the UNC loses, brothers and sisters, it is not only the political leader that loses or the MPs that loses. It is the people of Trinidad and Tobago that will lose. When the UNC loses, it is your children who lose. When the UNC loses, it is the small business owners who lose. When the UNC loses, it is law-abiding citizens that lose. When the UNC loses, it's our senior citizens who lose. When the UNC loses, it's the hard-working people of this country who lose. I want the UNC to win because I want the people of Trinidad and Tobago to win. That is all we want to do. My friends, That is the choice we as UNC members have on Saturday, June the 15th. And the choice couldn't be clearer. It's either you choose the praying hands to win government, or you choose the other side and we stay in opposition. It is that simple. The choice is yours on June 15th. Ladies and gentlemen, we, this country, every one of us, we are exhausted by the pervasive crime situation, feeling anguish as our friends, our neighbors, and our colleagues fall victim every day. Crime has become an overwhelming part of our daily lives. This government, in its incompetence, resorts to pleading with ruthless criminals, expecting them to change their ways by reporting something on the papers. Our nation, ladies and gentlemen, is slipping into anarchy with fearless thugs committing crimes everywhere and every day. The government of today remains indifferent, with leaders more focused on personal pursuits than addressing the crisis. The current state of our beloved Trinidad and Tobago is not merely a result of poor governance, but a testament to the collective neglect and complacency that has been allowed to fester over the years. We have allowed ourselves to become passive spectators in a game where our futures and the futures of our children are being gambled away. We must reawaken the spirit of activism, civic engagement that has historically been the backbone of our society. It is time to remind ourselves that we, the people, hold the ultimate power in a democracy. The legacy of our forebears demand that we rise to the occasion, that we do not let their sacrifices be in vain. We, all of us here, are the inheritors of a rich and diverse cultural heritage, a legacy of resilience and innovation. Our history in the UNC is replete with examples of triumph over adversity, of unity in the face of division. We must draw today upon this legacy as we chart a new course for our nation starting on Saturday. Our economic situation is in dire straits. Dinesh spoke about that earlier. The energy sector returns are dwindling. It is dwindling fast. Yet no effort is made by this government to diversify in other industries. The burden of the debt that we are carrying, ladies and gentlemen, will fall on our children and our grandchildren. And it is now compounded by plans to introduce new taxes. Financial mismanagement not only threatens our present, but it mortgages our future, leaving a legacy of debt for the next generation. And then we have a prime minister oblivious to the common man's struggle. He dismisses the suffering in the land by citing that people are attending some reggae concert Saturday night, so life is good. That is how he dismisses the struggles of our people. Families, ladies and gentlemen, they cannot afford basic needs. Public health care, education systems are in a collapse and decline. The state of our public services is appalling, and the government's insensitivity to the reality of today is staggering. Ladies and gentlemen, the neglect is systematic and pervasive, and it affects every aspect of our daily lives. Businesses are closing every day. Foreign investors are running away from Trinidad and Tobago because of the prevailing crime situation. Our once proud nation now makes international news for crime rate, not because of our achievements. Trinidad and Tobago, once a beacon of prosperity in the Caribbean, is now a cautionary tale, with travel advisories warning against visiting our shores. Ladies and gentlemen, This is not the future we envision for our children, and it is certainly not the future we deserve. We cannot stay idle. This is our country, the land of our ancestors and our descendants. We have a stake here, and we must improve our country by voting out the most incompetent government in the history of Trinidad and Tobago. But what does that mean? What is the assignment before us? Our vehicle into government is the United National Congress. But we have a current national executive that lacks vision and vigor to effectively challenge the PNM, and that is the fact. The UNC today does not represent the diversity of ideas and ideals of our country in its current state, and its agencies and arms are non-functional. We need leadership that is inclusive, dynamic, and responsive to the needs of all citizens. Our party needs a rescue act. We cannot and must not rely on past victories or leaders who are symbols of a bygone era. We need leadership that can mobilize support across urban and rural communities, all alike. We need to revive the spirit of Mr. Pandey, who united varied members and supporters in a common purpose. We must become the big tent once again. Larry spoke of it, where all will be welcome and feel at home, focusing on unity, dedicated leadership, and rejecting the old politics of division, which the other team, the other slate, seems fatigued of. The time demands new ideas and new energy, and we must be ready to embrace change. We must unite to fight for the betterment of all of Trinidad and Tobago. Our country must return to course correction, and we must save our Twin Island Republic. Our aim is to rebuild a democratic institution called the United National Congress that encourages and acts upon a multiplicity of views. The UNC must cease being a storehouse of a single person and become a robust marketplace of ideas. Important decisions of our party must be taken by consensus, guided by skill and talent like the team in front of you here, not by whims and flattery. Our party, the United National Congress, should be a reflection of our nation's diversity, with leadership that is representative of all segments of our society. The United Patriots team of dedicated, competent, and creative party faithfuls, each with a track record of accomplishment and service. I recognize today, more than ever before, the ingenuity and wisdom of our young and dynamic political leader candidate, Ms. Anita Haynes-Allen. I recognize today the brilliance and glow of our deputy political leader candidate, Dr. Rai Ragbir. Dr. Rai's global perspective and institutional party knowledge is invaluable to the assignment that lies before us. I wish to acknowledge the support and strength of my parliamentary colleagues, MP Rodney Charles and MP Dinesh Rambali. Gentlemen, your strength and determination of purpose have kept all of us inspired on this journey so far, and I thank you. I recognize the legal luminaries on our United Patriots slate, Mr. Larry Lala, Senior Counsel, and Attorney Kyle Taklal Singh. Ladies and gentlemen, these men have traversed the length and breadth of our legal system. from the district magistracy to the halls of the King's Privy Council in London. They are the undisputed legal luminaries of our times. I recognize the sterling contribution to society that Dr. Curtis Manchun has made in the field of leadership and accounting. His institutional knowledge of our party will be a great asset in building the future leaders for tomorrow. I recognize our local government practitioners in Mr. Henry Awong, Vice Chair of the CCTRC, Councillor Jason Ali, who will lead our strategic policy direction, bringing parity and policy to local government service, ensuring these two gentlemen will ensure that local government satisfy the needs of our wider membership with the priority it deserves. I must recognize the stalwarts of our party who will lead from the ground up. Jermaine Abdullah, William Archie, Wayne Mohammed, Jazinho Rigsby, Dr. Roshan Ali, Mr. Ricky Scanklin. All of these men and women are soldiers of the UNC. They will represent the view and the vision and hope of a wider membership at the leadership level. And in recognizing the future of our great party, I ask that you acknowledge Shanta C. Prasad, Mr. Devchan Ramjit Singh, Ms. Chanel Roberts. We, the Patriot slate, have offered ourselves to you, the UNC membership, to become your next national executive, to implement the measures to improve the party's administration and efficiency. Unlike many others, I read something in the newspaper today about who does hide behind somebody's skirt tail. Well, I want to tell you tonight that we don't stand behind anybody's skirt tail. We stand behind the members of our party. We stand behind good governance of our party. We stand behind the young people of our party. We stand behind every woman in our party. We stand behind the poorest of the poor in this country. We stand behind the dwindling middle class who has now become the working poor in this country. We stand behind the struggling small and micro family enterprise. That is what we stand for, and that is what we will stand behind, not behind anybody's skirt tail. When we assume office, we will engage with every stakeholder, every person, every group who have a contribution to national development. We will consult with them. We will make a manifesto of national change that will address the serious issues. Much like what is being peddled by the party, lots of good ideas, but we need to be in government to execute. And by having a new administration on the 17th of June, we will start our plans for economic diversification, job creation, improvement in public health care, and all other facets of our economy that we have to look after. Ladies and gentlemen, the slate that I lead, we believe in a united society, inspiring all of our artists and sportsmen in achieving international success. Once again, we have lost that desire. Our aspiration is to improve the quality of everyone's life and reach our country to its fullest potential. We have boundless faith in our destiny, and we are convinced that an invigorated national executive can mobilize and expand the membership to capture government in 2025. This current executive is in a decline, and it is aimless and useless, and they must be tossed aside on Saturday, the 15th of June, 2024. That team cannot. They don't have the capacity. They don't have the skill. They don't have the knowledge. They don't have the will. They don't have the desire to take the UNC to national electoral victory. And we must reject that. This United Patriots team of winners, we are a team of winners that will restore the UNC to its former glory and lead us to government in 2025. On Saturday, I ask all of you, members of the party, vote your conscience on Saturday. Think of your family and future and support the United Patriots as the next national executive of the United National Congress. Let us take a decisive step to take back our country. We have a duty to preserve our beautiful island for future generations. In pursuing these goals, we must ensure that our governance is transparent, accountable, and inclusive. This means strengthening our democratic institutions, promoting the rule of law, and ensuring that all citizens have a voice in the decisions that will affect their lives. We must move away from a culture of corruption and cronyism towards a culture grounded on integrity and public service. Ladies and gentlemen, I will not tell you tonight that it is going to be easy. The road ahead will not be easy, but I am confident that with determination, unity, and a shared vision for a beautiful future, we can overcome the challenges that we are going to face. Each of us have a role to play in national transformation. Whether you are a business owner, a teacher, a healthcare worker, a student, a parent, your contribution to national development will be vital. We must all of us here in the country, in Trinidad and Tobago, we must come together, harness our collective strength, and work towards a brighter future for all citizens. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we stand on the precipice of this new dawn, let us remember the words of Martin Luther King Jr. We must accept finite disappointment, but never lose infinite hope. Our journey will be filled with setbacks and challenges, but we must never lose sight of our ultimate goal, a Trinidad and Tobago that is prosperous, peaceful, and just. Let us also draw inspiration from the words of Mahatma Gandhi. The future depends on what you do today. The future will depend on what you do on Saturday, June the 15th, 2024. Every action we take, ladies and gentlemen, no matter how small, brings us one step closer to the Trinidad and Tobago that we envision. We must act with purpose and conviction, knowing that our efforts, all the efforts that all of you have put down over the last 60, 80, 90 days will pave the way for a better tomorrow for all of us. Ladies and gentlemen, although the task may seem daunting, we must remember that great achievements often begin with small steps. Let us take those small steps together, starting on Saturday with courage and determination, knowing that our united effort, all of us in this room, will lead us to success. Ladies and gentlemen, in closing, I call upon each one of you to recommit to the cause of national renewal. Let us put aside our differences and work together for a common good. Let us build a Trinidad and Tobago that we can be proud of, a nation that affords opportunity and hope to all its citizens, every single one. Together we can turn the tide and create a future that is bright and full of promise. Finally, I commend the future of Trinidad and Tobago into your collective hands on Saturday, the 15th of June, 2024. On Saturday morning, brothers and sisters, like you, when I awake on Saturday morning and I look to the east and we welcome the rising sun, let faith be your ultimate guide. And for those of you who are not inclined to be moved by faith alone, there is always duty. Duty to country, duty to community, duty to family. Nelson Mandela said, it always seems impossible until it's done. May God bless Trinidad and Tobago. May God bless the members of the United National Congress. A stronger UNC is a stronger Trinidad and Tobago. I will see all of you on Saturday morning, bright and early, at the polling stations. Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you.